Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Y'all already know what's about to go down. Today we are making cactus pin cushions. Please body slam that subscribe button so you can see more of me. I created a free pattern so everybody can use, which will be linked below. The ingredients you will need for this project is the pattern, a pair of scissors, an empty container with a lid, box is perfect too, scrap fabric or just a half yard of regular fabric, polyfill, I got this from Walmart, a piece of cardboard, and the last ingredient is a glue gun. First thing you need to do is cut the pattern. I made two different patterns. I made one long and one short, so if you want to make a long cactus, go ahead. If you want to make a short one, go ahead. What you need to do with your fabric is fold it. As you can see, I'm not folding it completely in half, so that way I can save fabric. You need to cut 6 of these on the fold. Pin it to make it easier to cut. Try to save as much fabric as you can. As you can see here, I have enough to cut 2 on one strip basically, so that's what I'm gonna do. Once they are all cut, they should look like this. And when you open it up, it should look like this. Lay the fabric with the good side of fabric facing up and then put another on top of it and like sandwich the fabric basically together. Then you're just going to sew everything except for the bottom. For the long version, it's the exact same thing. Alright, so now you're going to sew this. It's going to be a little tricky at first for like beginners, but make sure you backstitch both on the front and the back, okay? Because your strings will come out and then it's going to be difficult to like put the cotton in. So as I said before, use your cuts as a guideline to help you sew, and like move your hands around to help you get to like the round sides. Then you want to like stop, put your needle down and move the fabric so that way it's much easier to sew the other round edge. Make sure you're taking your pins out and you're not sewing on your pins. Also make sure you're not sewing on the edge, like leave a little bit of room. I would say like maybe half a centimeter of room to where you're sewing, so that way you're not sewing completely on the edge. And if you're making the longer version of it, it's literally the same exact thing. Like you're gonna do the same exact steps, okay? I did both, but it's literally the same exact steps. And I cannot stress this enough.
Backstitch, backstitch, backstitch.
Now that you have sewn everything except for the bottom, you're just gonna snip the sides a little bit, and don't snip too much. You're mainly gonna snip the top parts of it and don't snip the threads. Like I said before, it's the exact same thing with the long version of it. You will sew it the same exact way. Like I said, do not sew close to the edge. Use pins to help you. And make sure you are guiding and shifting the fabric so that way it turns the way that you want it to turn, okay? And most importantly,
Backstitch.
so you're gonna snip, snip, snip. Okay, now it should look like this, and you're gonna flip it inside out and it should look like this. For the long one, if it's hard to like poke the ends out, just use a pen or your finger just to poke the ends out, so that way it could look like the heart shape. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab all 3 pieces and you're gonna plant them on top of each other. They don't have to be perfect. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna sew a line right in the middle of that sandwich. Make sure you are sewing in the middle of it, because this is going to be really important for when we are putting the cotton into the little pockets. If it's too small, it's going to be really, really, really hard to put the cotton. Now that it's all sewn together, it should look like this. It's gonna look really cool. You could kind of see it forming into like a cactus-like shape now. So now what you're gonna do is flip it over to the other side, and we're gonna fill those little pockets up with cotton. This is why it's so important to make sure you sew straight on the line, so that way the pockets are big enough so the cotton can get filled up in there.
It's so fluffy.
So just start filling and 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 filling.
So all the sides should kind of look like this. So you kind of want to like press it down, push it a little bit in to make it more fluffier, to make sure all the ends pop out. With the long version of it, it may be a little bit hard to put the cotton in, so what you're going to do is grab that handy dandy pen that you had in the beginning and just shove the cotton in with the pen. Once all the pockets are filled, you can add more cotton if you feel like it's not filled enough, but you don't want to add too much to a point where it's like pouring out. You kind of want to leave a little bit of space. Flip it over to the other side and it's literally looking like a cute little cactus, but we are not done here.
It looks so pretty from the top.
So with the piece of cardboard, what you're going to do is you're going to trace around the top of your box or your container to make circles. Well, one circle. I made 2 circles because I'm making both. So what you're going to need now is like a small little square of fabric that you're going to use to cover the cardboard. It literally does not have to be big. I just made it out of my scrap fabrics. You're going to fold the fabric all around the cardboard and then you're going to hot glue it all together so that way it stays put and in place. It should look like this once it's done. You're going to hot glue the bottom to that piece of cardboard so that way it looks like this. Once everything is hot glued and in place, you're going to grab that whole thing and then you're just going to hot glue it onto the lid or the top of the box, whatever one you're using. And make sure you hot glue it good. And look, you made it to the finale. This is what it should look like. So the bottom part you could put pins in or chalk or whatever you want to put in there, and then the top part you just got to add the little pins. This is such a cute little project. Literally anybody can do it and it'll make such a great gift. Comment below for what you want to see next. And as always, thank you for watching and please like and subscribe.